All right, good morning, August 10th here on Tuesday. We're going to get started here and just run through some of the tickers and stocks that we're looking at, and then we're going to really run through our entire portfolio today. So we're going to try to do this in 45 minutes or less if we can. So S&P up again today, setting new highs. So another new high out there today. And I'll make sure that I may mute you guys. So if you want to unmute yourselves because you want to ask a question or something, you can. Larry, yeah, you're muted now. Okay. All right, perfect. All right, so yeah, SPX new all-time high again today. So we're continuing to move higher, which I think everything is really overdone. But that's all good. We'll just keep taking it as it comes, and we'll keep playing our strategy. So on the Russell, this one though, not setting new highs, not tanking, just floundering in the middle here, which is perfect. We're going to go through our double calendar on this and a few other things, but you see the squeeze looking to really fire here, but really not getting much on the Russell. And then as we look at Nasdaq as well, not quite a new high today like the S&P is. Tech stocks just a tad weaker. Looking at the RSI though, back here when we set a new high, this RSI was a lot lower than the previous high, which was lower than the previous high. So RSI divergence keeps telling us that each high we're making is weaker than the last ones. So that's not a great sign for tech stocks. We'll jump through a few other things real quick, and then let's get to the meat of what we want to cover today. As we take a look here as well at oil, well off of its highs from last month. So looking at the highs back here at 76, came down, broke through the 50, has broken lower, and looking to maybe put in a little bit of a bottom here. So it's really interesting that you have oil right now, right at this spot here. So is this a support level for oil? Maybe. Could be a nice double bottom and a bounce higher. I'd keep an eye on oil, stochastics, MACD. Everything looks to be reversing a little bit on oil here. So this might be a nice opportunity to place something in oil. I think you see some of the oil stocks, ExxonMobil especially, up today doing decent things. Gold looking terrible. So gold just continuing to sell off the last several sessions here, really struggling in gold. Silver, pretty much the exact same chart. And then if we take a look at bonds, and we can look at the 30-year off of its high, off of this run here, and breaking through a bit of this uptrend line. We'll see if this continues to hold, but if bonds continue to sell off, that means yields are going to continue to come off their lows. So while bonds are diving, yields are starting to thrive here a bit. So yields breaking this downtrend line and coming off their lows, which is not great for tech stocks technically, which is why the Nasdaq is a little bit weaker than the S&P in there. I wanted to take a look at three stocks, and then I want to jump into our stocks today. So the first one I want to take a look at is Apple. So one of the things to look at Apple here is you've been in a squeeze now for about 8-9 sessions. So Apple in a pretty good squeeze. This MACD trying to turn back up, stochastics and RSI maybe starting to point back up, but both of them over 50, which is a key for me. So in a squeeze, indicators looking to move higher. This could be a good spot to enter something in Apple. You're really tight in a squeeze, and I think we also had a 2-hour breakout on Apple today. So yeah, so on the MOBO bands, 2 hours, 2-hour breakout on Apple. Looking at the expected move for the week, you're looking at a range of somewhere in the neighborhood of a 3-point move or something like that for the week. And let's take a quick look at, you're just getting a green signal, so an enter signal on the daily here. As I mentioned, the 2-hour is showing a breakthrough here. So this could be a nice spot to get into Apple. PSAR is showing that we're moving up. It's not really close to any kind of a reversal at this point in time. And things look good for Apple. So I just wanted to point out Apple today as one really good looking stock, I think, to take a look at. I don't know what we'll do, if anything, in Apple. We're pretty well set with where we are on things. Also, Etsy. So Etsy starting to, trying to come off some lows. The TTM, squeeze here is showing, a little bit increasing negative momentum. MACD, though, starting to reverse. And typically this reverses before the TTM squeeze does. You had earnings here. On earnings, had a big up move, drop down. This could be a nice spot on Etsy in here. So I think this is an interesting play, something to keep an eye on. And then Oracle as well. So Oracle here, I believe, I don't remember which, I think just the fact that we've been in a squeeze for quite a while. MACD looks decent. Stochastics, everything looks good. We're bouncing here off not quite the 21 and trying to move higher. And the Bollinger Band's trying to open up a little bit here as we head back to a new high. So everything completely stacked. I think Oracle looks good to make some more gains in here. So there's a few things, and then we won't take a look at too much more, but I wanted to jump into our, I still think cruise lines and airlines have been really just getting the snot kicked out of them for a couple weeks as COVID is coming back. Although I've flown 3 times in the last 2 months, and I'm going to go fly again next week. So I'm going to head back to Florida for a 4th time in 2 months next week, take some more days and just hang out at Florida. But airlines are packed. I mean, the planes are absolutely packed. Now, maybe they're running less planes or what have you, but airlines are packed, so it doesn't make me think that things are going to be heading lower. I'm going to mute whoever that may be. So, Stas. Okay. All right. So anyway, there's a couple different charts as you look at airlines here. I think Love, which we're in, it's just been really beaten up, but we're making money as we move sideways here. And this 50 has been a line to gain on it. So see if we can get any momentum. Been in a long squeeze. Things look better than they do worse on here. And then the last thing, I think people are, a lot of people are looking at Snap up here, trying to make a new high, popped up above it today, sold back off. Now it's selling off a little bit. The squeeze fired way back in here. This was your opportunity to really get in. It didn't really do much on that squeeze. It's really moved completely sideways, and you're now well over 8 days into this squeeze. MACD starting to tail off. I'm not a big fan of Snap here, like a lot of other people might be. So just an FYI on Snap. And then as we take a look at, I like gaming stocks in here as well. I think Penn, this is really interesting down here. I think you're in a long squeeze looking to break to the upside. I think that looks good. And then if we look at, and where's my, where's NEO and the gang? So we got earnings on NEO coming up. I think NEO's really been in a squeeze, but things just look kind of flat in here right now. I think it's ready to make a move in one direction or another. Anyway, there's a quick overview of stocks. I don't know if it's quick, that was 9 minutes. And let's get into a few other things. So we're going to jump into our trading account for this service. And here's everything that we have on right now in in Income Navigator on my end of things. And I want to talk about each of these and what's working, what's not working. Everything seems to be working pretty well. And I'll talk about a couple of ones that you see some lower P&Ls on and why. And let's start with ES. ES is where we are chunking through our black swan hedges. So this is an expense account if you're looking at trading as a business here. So for me, this is my expense account. And I'm just reviewing the strategy here, but what we are doing is we will sell 3 shares or 3 contracts. You can do them in different segments. You can see sometimes when I buy in increments of 5. When I sell in increments of 3. So you can see why we're down here is because we've already closed all of our shorts for winners. These longs are freebie longs. So even though the P&L on these is down, we already realized the gain on the shorts. So this is just all gravy for us in here. We've already paid for these through our shorts, just like we did here, where we sold 3 of these for $345. And then when the 2100s got down to 180, we bought 5 of those. When these 3 contracts here of the October 15, when these get down to 20 cents, then we're going to take these off as well, and we'll only be holding the longs. Again, it'll show as an open P&L loss, but technically we didn't pay a dime.
There's multiple leaks in the evaporator.
I'm going to mute whoever that is. You guys can just make sure you
just get a 3.
Okay. All right. So it's like playing whack-a-mole here. All right. And so you've got those. And then once we bought this tranche, then we added a new tranche here. So we went out again about 80, 90 days. I don't like to go too much more than 100 anymore. If I can stay under 90, I will. I'm just finding that at over 100 days is just taking too long for these things to decay enough in this market. So we went out 80, this was a couple days ago. And again, we sold 3 contracts at $3. As soon as the 2450, which is 50 points lower, as soon as that 2450 strike for that time period, just take a quick look. Gotta go way out, but as soon as this 2450 gets down to about $1.80 or so, so when you sell 3 times at $3, that's 9. Technically you're taking in $9 on that, and then if I'm going to buy 5, $1.80 puts me at even for those. So I will buy these 2450s. Here when they get to about $1.80. So when that gets to $1.80, we'll add more to this position, and then we'll wait till these sold shares get down to 20 cents. We'll take them off. So we're building a giant wall of far out ES puts, which is just our black swan hedge. So there's the black swan hedge in a nutshell for you. Our MES trades, these are our daily MESs that we're working on. There's a few other trades mixed into this group, but let's look to make our MES trades for the day. So we're going to look out, and our oldest one's the 3910. It's also essentially the most profitable percentage-wise trade. So that's the one we're going to close right now. So we're going to look to close that trade. We'll take that thing off at $3.40. So we're going to sell the most profitable, oldest trade there, which would be the 3910. And we also have some calls to unload because we were buying or selling calls and puts for quite a while. I'm going back to just all puts, but the calls have been a nice profitable. And the 4620, which is this one, this is the oldest, and I don't know if it's the most profitable, but it's closest. It's close. So I'm just going to close this one as well. So we're going to close this call side. All right. So there's our daily that we're selling. So we're going to put in orders to close the 3910 and the 4620 call. That's what we're looking to get out of today. So we'll let those 2 orders work. We have to adjust them. We will. Wow, national. Okay, I was going to say that certainly changed quite a bit. There. All right, so there's where we are on the MES daily trades. So we'll close the put, we'll close the call. Both should be nice winners, giving us more income from that. And then we're going to put on a new one today. All right, we just got filled. I think that was the call side. So we got filled on the call side today at $1.20. Excuse me, we'll post that in chat in a few minutes. Today's the 10th. We'll post it in alerts in a few minutes. If you're on here, you know now what we just did. And that's a 72% winner on the call side. So it gives us a little bit of extra cash on there. But what we want to do is we want to add a new one today. So we're going to go out to 60 days, but not over, which means we're still trading this September 30 section. To make it easy, I'm going to go down to about 10 delta, and that's what I'm going to sell. I like getting 20 bucks. I don't like to get less than 20 on this. So we're right in that mark. It's a wide spread. So we're going to sell the 39.40. We're right at the 10 delta, which is about 90% out of the money. Not quite, but I want to get my 20 if I can. So we're going to put this in for 20. We'll do 2 contracts and we'll let this thing percolate for a bit, see what happens. If we don't, we may either move it up or we'll change. So there's where we are on MES for the day. So we still have this put that we're trying to close out, which is one of our older puts. And then we're also looking to add a new MES for the day. So that's a pretty simple, easy trade. So what else do we have going on in MES here, just to give you a sense of where we are? I also am putting on 90-day strangles in here. So you can see these strangles. Let's look at this one, the 35.80, 47.90 strangle. Currently, this is at 23.50. We opened it up at 28.75. So we're working our way down there. We put this on 7.20, so we're only about 20 days in on this one. So there's one strangle that's working, and then the other one is this 33.80. Oh, I'm sorry, I grabbed the wrong one. Yeah, this one's still up a bit. I'm sorry, the 33.80, 46.80 is another one that we have on, and that one's selling for 19.25. That's the one we put on for 28.75. So we're slowly getting there at 28.75. That means about 14.50 is the 50% mark. So another 5 points down, and we'll have another nice winner on these strangles. And this strangle was just put on yesterday. So we put this on yesterday for 25, and it's already down to 19.25. I'm sorry, that's wrong. It's already down, yeah, 19.25, I believe it was, right? Yeah. So we put on for a good amount, and we're in good shape on that. We've also have, I believe those are the only 2 strangles right now. So 2 90-day strangles in MES to cover with you guys as well today. All right, let's start taking a look at some of the other tickers that we have. Airbnb is a put that we sold. We sold the 130 put. We're sitting at 149 today. We sold it for $2.80. We're all the way down to 24 cents now. We're getting to the point where this is the 90% winner, a little bit more than 90% winner. We have 3 more days. We're far away. I'm just going to let this thing run for a little bit, but that'll be a full winner, it looks like, unless the market tanks. Here, let's take a look at ARK. So ARK, we sold the 105 put out for $1.25. We're down to 72 cents. So that one's still has plenty of time left on ARK, and it's another nice winner moving along. DraftKings is one we put on yesterday as well. In DraftKings, so we sold the 48 put. It's at 53. We got 10 days to go. We sold for 37 cents. We're down to 15. That one's all good as well. Ethereum as well. You know, I continue to add small position here. I'm just building up in this account a little bit at a time, about $500 every time we have a good day. So today's another good day. So we may add some more Ethereum today as we go through. All right, Goldman Sachs. This is an Igor trade. So I didn't post it, Igor did, but I joined him. So Igor put on a butterfly in Goldman Sachs. You can see we've already blown past the middle. We've already blown past the upper side, but there's no risk to the upside. The max difference here is going to be 5. We're at 431. I could probably take this one off and move on. So Igor, thank you. I'll take the money. I'm flying to Florida. I'll use it for my airfare. So if you're not tracking some of Igor's trades over in Active Trader, I recommend jump in. There's some good butterfly opportunities there as well as here. All right, IWM, we have a handful of trades on. So number one, we have this long put, and this is a long leap put. Now it's down to 38 days, so not so leapish anymore. But we had purchased this put, and what we had been doing is we were selling against it. So we've been selling against it to pay this down, and let's see, where's our cost basis on this thing? So the cost basis on this IWM right now is $23. So we've sold off $9, almost $10 worth of premium. I'm sorry, about $3 to $4 worth of premium on it right now. So we have a nice winner going, but it's giving us nice negative delta, which we need in the account. So I'm just leaving this on. I have not sold against it recently. I kind of just let this run because of IWM selling down. Something else we have on is we also just recently, and this was yesterday, we sold a put on IWM. So we've taken a long put, a wheel trade on IWM, and that would be this 215 right here. So we sold this for $1.16 yesterday. It's at $1 today. So we got 10 more days on this, and we're 7 points above. So I like this trade in here. And then lastly, we have this double calendar that we put on. So on the double calendar that we've got here, let's take a quick look at my sheet. I paid what, the $9.32 for this. I've already sold 2 tranches of 7-day out. So this is my 3rd tranche that's on now. And so far I have netted, well, it's taken our cost from $9.32 down to $7.52, plus whatever happens in here. You know, we've got the 210 on the put, the 230, we're dead in the middle. Well, not quite dead, but pretty close in the middle. So these things are working pretty well. You can see, even with 3 days to go, we're almost at full profit on these. So we're going to knock our costs down a bit more as we go through, and we'll end up rolling these out. But the nice thing here is not counting this additional, what is it, 60 some odd cents. The 60 cents takes us down to about $6.90. So we're already, if we close it today, we're making roughly 50 cents on that times the shares that we have. Just kind of experimenting through these double calendars, but this is it. We're just rolling this every 7 days, and we've got plenty more rolls to go. So we've got about 7 more rolls to go, and we're already at a nice profit on this thing. So we'll keep winding that down. JP Morgan, again, another Igor trade that he put on that I modified a bit from his, but also putting on a butterfly in JPM. I love JPM. I like Goldman Sachs. I like financials right now. Anything financial, I think, is a win right now. So we have this broken wing butterfly. It's got a nice little profit. These are just small profits, just adding to these. Okay, love. Let's talk about love. And you're looking, okay, we got filled on a new MES trade for today. So good, we'll get that posted right after this is over. So love, what we've done, let me add some more people into the room here. So we were assigned 400 shares back at 60, 10 points away from that. So that's our loss right now on Love, but we continue to sell the 50 put while we've been in this. I haven't sold calls against it. I've been just selling the puts for now, which have been good. If I get assigned on the 50 put, I'm going to double my take. My average will be 55. I'm sitting around 50. I certainly think that the airlines will rally a good 10% once this COVID stuff starts to calm down a bit. I think you're going to see airlines. And again, I've been flying for a couple of weeks now. Mask and all, it's a pain, but doing it, and every airline is absolutely packed to the gills, and you're getting offered all kinds of money to take a different flight. So they're packed, they're running, they're short-staffed, but I think airlines are going to be making some money. But if we look at the history on Love, let's try to get to the correct symbol. So if we look at history on Love, though, yes, we've got that $3,700 unrealized loss that we're just working against, but we've also collected $1,400, almost $1,500 on it. So really our P&L is only down a couple grand as we continue to just work this realized income up on the wheel trade. And so our loss is not, this big. It's only about $2,000 right now, and we're having a good day on Love. So eventually this thing's going to make a run. And that's all we're waiting on is we'll make that run, we'll get out. And if we can get out at 60, we will keep then, not only we'll keep all of that $1,400 premium. We may even get some more as we start to move up. All right, Nvidia. Nvidia is one where this is one of those OTM leaps. So this is our out of the money leap play on Nvidia. What we do on these is we will go out. I don't like the June. I don't know why. So I go out as far as I can to the January. I don't know why I don't like the June. And then we sell out of the money puts. I'm sorry, we buy out of the money calls. I'm used to selling puts. We buy the out of the money call on this, and we are waiting for the stock to move up as well. So we bought these at 27. They're now up to $31. So we've got a nice little gain going on Nvidia. But what we want to be able to do on this, and the goal is, I'm going to want to sell something out here around the 250 mark. I want to have at least a 20%, 30% buffer. So this would be like a $30 buffer in here. I want to sell for the exact same amount that I paid here, or maybe a little bit more. So I paid $27.80. So right now, we're at like $22 up in here. So we're getting close. Another 5 points higher or so. If we can sell this for 27, that will totally pay for these, and it's a free trade. And if Nvidia in the next 2 years manages to get up to 250, which I certainly feel it might, excuse me, then this is a free trade. So we have a free trade with a 30 wide. I only have 3 contracts, so it's but 300 shares times 30 wide. That's a $9,000 gain for nothing. So it's not going to cost me a dime to have this on pretty soon. So pretty soon I will be able to sell that call. It'll be a free trade, and if I let it go to expiry and Nvidia can get to 250 by then or more, then I will have a $9,000 winner, and that's just something to pocket. We did the same thing on Palantir. So we did the same thing. We went out, we bought the 40 call, 311 days out. Now I did do the June. I don't know why. I hate June. I only like January's, but I did it, bought a bunch of shares on this one, and we're going to do the same thing on Palantir here. So as Palantir moves up, if it moves towards this 40 or something in here, and what did we pay? We paid $1.20 on that. So we're already able to sell the 45s for about $1.20, not quite, $1.10 probably. So we're already close to being able to write something wide. I'm going to want to write, again, at least 20, 30% wide. So yeah, 10 wide, maybe sell the 50s or something when they come available as this moves up. We'll see how it goes. Other than that, we'll be happy to make money on it. Qualcomm was a put we sold yesterday. So we sold a naked put on Qualcomm at 143. It's down today or a bit, but that's all good. We have 10 days on Qualcomm. Snow is one that we're in. We are in a again, another Igor trade. So we didn't post this one, but Igor did. So this was a call spread as well. Today's not helping the action on that. Probably could have taken some profits on it. Still profitable, but we got plenty of time on Snow. Let's dive into some of the SPX things that we've got working. So there's a handful of different trades in here just to give you an idea of what we're looking at on here. So the first one we're looking at would be these are mostly in SPX. These are almost all broken wing butterflies. And I've been doing these at roughly 45 days or so out, and they're centered right around the 20. Let me pull these up. I'm looking at them on my sheet. So they're centered somewhere around the 20 delta. So let's take a look and let's see how these things are shaping up here. All right, so here's what we have going on this one. We're pretty far away from getting anything exciting on here, and we're only about 17 days away on this particular trade. So we got 17 more days, but it's at a full profit essentially. It's at 205 bucks on the profit. The max is 235. I'm leaving it on because if this thing just sails down into here for whatever reason in 17 days, then we're going to have maybe some opportunity to see this line start to accelerate. So I'm going to leave it on. There's no, it's chewing up some buying power, but I just put another one on. So I'm good with that one. I don't feel like I have to do anything. All right, so let's move off of that one. And here's the next one. We did the same thing on a September 17th call. So we have 37 days left on this one. There you go. It's already, profitable. It's 95 bucks. Maximum is 235. We're going to leave this thing on. Gives us a little downside protection here. And if not, we're going to make, another 235 bucks on this. Again, they all just keep adding up in here. And let's take a look at the next one. Now, this one's a 45-dayer. So this is 45 days. Now, you can see how this T+0 line is heading down lower because we haven't been in it long enough. So this trade was only put on yesterday. So we're going to just sit in here and we're going to let this thing percolate. If we start to drop down in here, we're going to be good. Now, if we drop down here too quickly, we're going to start to show some, some decent losses. But we're going to let this thing rock and roll for a bit. So we put another one on with that. And let's see, what's the next thing we have? Okay. And then I joined again Igor on this trade. I thought it was a really cool trade. So this was that off-centered, off-balance 2-1 ratio iron calendar. I don't know what you call it, Igor. But I really like this trade. You've got this gigantic tent in here. And look at the T+0 line on this thing. So you've got a little bit of a credit already today up in here, but that's not the goal. The goal would be, hey, can we land in here somewhere where now you're making some pretty significant dollar amounts if we're in here. So right now, a little bit down, but if we can move into here, it's immediately going to start making some money as we get close. So let this thing decay a little bit, and that'll be a great looking trade. So I really like that, adding that on to what we're doing. So I don't know, again, you have no idea what you call that thing, but it's a pretty cool trade. All right, let's look at all the stuff we have on in SPY. So we have a 1-1-1 trade. Okay, so here's our, I may have clicked on too many things here. Did I? Oh, I did. Sorry. So here's our 1-1-1 trade that we have on using SPY. again, if we just stay up in this tail up here, we're going to make 200 bucks again. It's another $200. We're just going to continue to just make money. If we drop down into here, man, you can see that we really start to make some money. We've only got 17 days left. We're going to leave this on. If we move down here quickly, then we start to make some money. Look at the T+0 line, moving up to 300, 400, 500, $600, $700. Then if we get into here, you could be looking at $1,000 or so on this particular trade. So there's one of our 111 trades that we have on. Then next we have let's see, whoops. I just want to keep up with what trades I have on. 395, give me a second here. A lot of different SPY trades on. All right, September 17th, we have a 395, 425, 430. So here's another 111 trade that we have on for SPY. We're already showing the fact that we've got a nice $100 credit on this thing. The max is 206. If we stay in this range, we're good. If we start to drop, and we can drop all the way down here, we can take a 10% hit on S&P and still land in this where we start to really make some decent money. All right, so we have a little bit of time left on these still, about 38 days, plenty of time. We'll watch that thing move out there. All right, the next one is a 441. So this one's a little different, where we have sold a let's see, we're on the 4 wide. We've sold a 5 wide put spread. Okay, and then I'm sorry, we bought a 5 wide put spread and we've paid for it with a far out of the money put down here. So this one is paying for this 5 wide spread here. Now, the difference between this and a 111, this is just a big, beefy, gigantic trade in here. So we don't win if we stay up here. Normally, I would like to put this on for a slight credit, and I'm okay losing $23. But right now we're up, we're up some money on it. And if we start to sail down here at all over the next couple weeks, and it's going to be worth a whole lot more. Look at that T+0 line. So it really could start to pay off for us as we move down theoretically. So let's see where things move on that. All right, so now let's look at a few other trades. We got a lot of things working on SPY right now. So here is our essentially a front ratio, but this is our 1-to-0 trade in SPY that we have on. So what are we looking at with these? Again, this one, the 1-to-0, we're going to sell or buy, I'm sorry, the one put up in here at 409, and then we're going to sell 2 down here at 387 to pay for it. We're going to take in a credit. Again, you just see all of my, if we just expire in here, we just continue to add more and more credits. And $100 here, $200 there, $100 here. It starts to add up into about $1,000 a week or so, not on top of the MES trades. So on this account, we're able to generate anywhere from about $1,000 to $2,000 a week on the size account that we're using for the trading account. But you can see if we start to move down in here, similar, T+0 line starts to head up, we start to make even more money. But this is a profitable trade. It's up 96, so it's almost up the full value of the tail, but I'm leaving it on because if we sell, we're really going to be in good shape down here. And if we get assigned down here, we're going to get assigned at what, 385 or 387, but our break even is right here, right around 363. So 364 or something like that. I don't know, why does it say 365 there? So if we get assigned, right down here around our break even, I'm okay getting, owning it around 370, even though I'm going to get assigned at 387. up in here, and I'm happy to own SPY at a 10% plus discount, and I got paid to do it. So my cost basis will be lower. And then the last piece here is a little bit more unusual one. This is the risk twist spread that we have on. So here's our SPY risk twist spread, which is essentially we're selling a put up at 393. We bought 3 of the 401s, and then we sold, I'm sorry, 393 down here. We sold one. We bought 3 at 401, and then we sold another one up at 418. So there's the risk twist spread that we're in. And this is something that we put on quarterly. So we do this initially at about 120 days. What do we got left on this? We're only about halfway in. We're about 60 days in. And this is, again, a cost of doing business trade. If we stay up in here, we'll lose what we paid. If the market starts to head down, then you can see that we start to make more and more money. And now we start to make, you know, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. So depending on the market, if we get a pretty good sell-off in here, we'll make some decent money. And you can see, even though there's this sharp valley, that valley is only at expiration. You can see the T+0 line is a much smoother line going above the valley. It can dip in here, but we're not going to take the full loss and be right in here. We'll move out before that happens. But this is giving us a shot that if we all of a sudden just sell off and S&P drops a ton, this will pay off big time and pay for many of our other trades. So there's all of our SPY positions that we have on. Square, same thing here. This is a leap that we purchased, paid 41. It's at 53. Got a nice little gain going in a couple weeks on Square. Let's take a look. So what would we do on Square? Let's see. The average debit on the risk twist. For me, I did 5 contracts of that, and it cost me $1. I think let me make sure. It cost me $5. So on SPY. So that was the debit, was $5 times 5 contracts. So about a $2,500 expense, and which is okay with me. I don't mind spending, you know, 2% of my account to protect a ton of the account. If we tank, we're going to make so much more. We could double our account, in my opinion, with all of those risk twist and all the other things that we have on the ES trades. If we have a really big downturn, we're in really, really good shape. All right, let's take a look at this Square. So Square, what did we purchase this thing at? We purchased it for $41 back in here. So we purchased it for $41. Right now, I could probably sell this 330 for almost $41 and have a 40 wide. It's not enough for me. I think I want to go about 60 wide or so on this. So my goal is, if Square continues to move up, once this 350 is available for about $41 or more, which we're not far off. We're like 7 points away on this. So which would be at 40 delta, you know, 14 more points or so up in here. We're going to start to see this getting close to what we want. And I might sell this 350. That's going to give me a 60 wide. So those 200 shares at 60 wide, that's going to give me $12,000. I'll lock the profit in. I'll just sit and wait. And if hopefully in 2 years, you know, this or sooner, this thing will be above 350 and what have you, we'll have a free trade on. I'd like to get paid to put this on. So I'm going to probably wait till it gets more than 40. I'd like to make some money on this. Maybe I'll make $1,000 now and have the ability to make 12,000 more in a year. So I'd like to get paid $1,000, a couple $1,000 to have this on, ideally on all of these leaps trades. I'd like to make $1,000 on these leaps. By the way, this Square was put on 7/28. So we're not even 2 weeks in for on a 3-year trade. So we got plenty of time. We'll wait a couple months. We'll see where we are. And if I can take in a couple grand, which is going to give me a really nice return on my money, I'll take in a couple grand to have a free trade on that's going to be worth 12 grand in 2 years. That'll be a nice little bonus. TGX, we've been in for a while on this butterfly. It's just kind of floundering around, but TGX looks like it's starting to make a move in here. Might shoot past the center. Tesla trades, a Gabe trade in here. This is his broken wing butterfly. We've got some work to do on Tesla if this thing's gonna survive. It's not looking too good. And then lastly, let's take a look at VIX. I know we're right about the 45-minute mark for me. So I want to take a look at VIX. XLY is a leap trade that we've been selling calls against. It's up nicely, and we've also made, let me pull it up here just so you know, on XLY, we've also made over $5 in credit as well. So we've reduced the basis on this thing down to about 20. So we've more than doubled our money, but essentially we've just continued to generate income off of XLY. And we got a nice trade that we're just sitting on here that we don't have to close anytime soon. All right, VIX. Here's what we got going in VIX, just so you can see where things are. VIX is all hedge trade and all the time. So we have the 25.35 that we purchased. This 25.35, what did I pay for that? $1.20. So I paid $1.20 for this one. It's down a tad right now. It's down about $110. But if this thing spikes, then this thing will be looking good. We also own just the $15 calls outright, which is only down a fraction. And we have a month and change on that. And then here's on this last one, this is the oldest one we have. We own the 25.45 spread that has about 7 days. So this one's probably not going to survive unless we get a huge spike in VIX coming up. But what I want to show you on VIX is, you think that spreads you think the VIX is a hedge? Look what I've made on VIX already. Again, is that a big amount of money? For most people, probably no. You're thinking, I've gotten paid over $1,500 so far on these VIX hedges. Okay, so I've made over $1,500. Yes, right. I've made over $1,500 to put on a hedge. Not bad. So these do pay off. And when they do pay off, it more than overcomes any gain, any loss that I may take on those typically. So this one might end up being a loss down in here. Right now, I'm losing about $400. Big deal. I've made over $1,500 on VIX hedges for the year. So there's a review of where we are. You get to see the whole portfolio that we trade here for Income Navigator. I hope that answers some questions for you. Maybe it raises some questions. And we got MES trades on today. All right, so we were filled on one of the ones we were closing. We got filled on the call side. We had not been filled on the put side, and then we added a new one in here. So let's take a look real quick at why we have not been filled on the put side. So we're going to have to just move around a bit. All right, we'll let that thing percolate for a bit on there. So there's where we are on the MES trades today. Added a new one. We'll post these up in just a minute today. If you have any questions, this is your opportunity. If not, we're going to say goodbye on this, but it gives you an insight as to where we are. We got our $20 credit on that MES. So we've opened a new one today, and I'll start getting these things posted in alerts. All right, there's where we are. And just so you have an idea of what we've done here, I don't know that you can So you can see roughly the capital required here, about $22,000 on these MES trades. We've got another probably 37. Okay, so somewhere in the neighborhood of about $60,000 in buying power for most of our income trades out there. The only thing else that's even coming close to chewing up any is this love trade, which we just need this thing to move up, but we'll wheel it until we win, and that's how we wheel. So that gives you an idea of what you're doing. On this account started in January at $100,000. So this is a $100,000 account in January. That was my challenge in this account. It's up 35% for the year. So it's at 135 grand today. But when you look at a $100,000 account, just again, to tell you what I'm doing, and this is not everybody, I'm not an active trader. This, you know, although I'm active trading, I'm not trying to hit home runs here, and we hit a few every now and then, but my goal is somewhere around 3% a month, which is about 36% a year. 4% would be ideal for me, which would be, you know, instead of 36% a year, closer to 40 to 45% a year. That's it. Well, in order to make 4%, that's $1,000 a week. So I just need to make 250 bucks a day. That's the goal. The MES trades are making roughly that every single day. They're somewhere around 200, 220, 230 a day. And then you sprinkle in the other 100 here, 200 there, another 200 here, 200 for a wheel trade. Then you get to the, you know, you should be able to hit those numbers. I think once this love hopefully reverses, moves higher, this will, you know, this should not, you know, add another 4 grand or so to the kitty, which would push us up to about 40% for the year. And we're only in August, and we just started August. We have all of August, September, October, November, December. We got 5 months to go, and we're already at 35% gain on the account. So can we get to 40, 50% of the year? Yep. And we're not risking anything, and I am hedged like you wouldn't believe. So we take a little hit. It's all good. It's a no stress trading, you know, plan for you. A variety of different trades on, some fun stuff in here too. You sprinkle some butterflies in. That's your fun trade. That's your fun money. And you know, follow Igor, follow Gabe, follow Anya. You know, throw in those butterflies or whatever else you want to put in. That's all good. That, to me, that's fun money. You win a couple $100 here and there on something, and you're in good shape. For me, I'm happy making 35, 45, 50% a year, and we've been up over 30% a year every year for the last 3 to 5 years minimum. Anyway, there you have it. Hopefully that is good stuff for you guys. We'll pop this thing in the recording, and everybody enjoy a fantastic rest of your day. We'll see everybody in the Slack channel.